Silvermane Baek Yoonho is one of the next upcoming characters in Solo Leveling Rise, and we've just had a big portion of his kit actually leaked, so let's take a look at it. But before I start, shoutouts to Genesis for leaking all this information, so I will leave their Twitter down below, so make sure you give him a follow. So here we go, here is his kit right here. Obviously it's on a text document, so it's a little bit messy, but that's fine, we can work with it. And so yeah, as I mentioned before, Silvermane Baek Yoonho will be apparently the name that they'll use for him, as I didn't really know what to call it, because I think in the manga there wasn't really like a special name for it, so Silvermane Baek Yoonho makes a bit of sense. And so we've got all of his skill names right here. We got Slaughter, which is apparently his skill 1, Violent Approach, which is apparently his skill 2, Extreme Attack, which is going to be his ultimate, Magic Beast Claws, which might be his core attack, and then we have Magic Beast's Instinct. And then apparently Deadly Claws, which we'll see later on in this text document, is apparently his exclusive weapon. So let's kick things off. We have Magic Beast Claws, which increases the damage of basic attacks by a certain amount of percentage for each instance of the bleed effect applied to the target. So it seems like Baek Yoonho might potentially be something to do with damage over time effects, and I think the bleed effect is going to be something that is mentioned a lot more during this whole kit. So I don't really know yet about other characters that have damage over times, but hopefully he'll be pretty good with those. And then there'll be a maximum possible damage increase that you can actually get from this skill, so it will be capped at a certain amount. And then we have Deadly Claws, which is apparently his weapon, which increases the damage of core attacks according to the number of bleed effect instances applied to his target. So just like with Magic Beast Claws, increasing the damage of basic attacks based off of the amount of bleed, the amount of bleed stacks or bleed instances as it refers to in game apparently. You get more damage, and this will be the same thing but with his core attacks instead. So already I think the solid foundation gear set right here is going to be probably one of his better gear sets, as it works all around basic attack damage and core attack damage as well. So I think this gear set right here for him is going to be fantastic. So I've just gone through a lot of the characters, and I feel like the only other character that can currently bleed, at least to my knowledge, is currently Kang Tae-shik. So we do know what the bleed debuff effect actually does. So essentially it deals damage equal to 0.6 of your, I'm assuming, of the enemy's current HP. I don't really know. I would imagine so, or it could be to do with your own HP. I'm not too sure. But every 3 seconds, which will take basically 10 times, because the duration is for 30 seconds. Although I feel like for different characters, these numbers do change. So Baek Yoonho's bleed could actually be a lot better than Kang Tae-shik's is, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, back onto his kit, and it also says under Deadly Claws, Yoonho also recovers a small amount of HP. So pretty cool. So he has his own self-sustain, which is actually pretty cool. I like that. And then we have Magic Beast Claws, which has its basic attack enhancement effect doubled. Okay, I don't really know too much what that means, but hopefully it's going to be something cool, maybe something hopefully to do with damage. I'm not really so sure what it means by basic attack enhancement, unless if it's talking about the damaging. Oh wait, okay, no, I get it. So I think the damage increase from this is actually going to double, which is that's pretty good, right? Surely it has to be. So yeah, I think that's what it means by that. It's going to double the damage that you double the damage or damage increase that you get from this skill, which should be pretty good then. And then it also says Silvermane Baek Yoonho increases skill damage by 50% of his reduced HP ratio. Again, I'm not really too sure about that. I think that's got something to do with bleed. I think you want to have less HP on him, so then you do more damage. I think that's what that means. I want to say, yeah, because it says by you increase your skill damage by 50% of his own reduced HP ratio. So basically, the lower the HP he has as well, the more damage you'll be able to get as well out of him, which is pretty cool. And then he uses Violent Approach or Slaughter to apply the bleed effect to enemies, which is, I imagine, is going to be something to do with his skills as well, which will inflict continuous damage as well. So yeah, literally all about bleeding the enemy. So hopefully should be pretty cool. Maybe Kang Tae-shik will be a good pairing with him. Probably not, unfortunately, but regardless, I think he's actually going to be pretty cool from the sounds of things. And then it says the damage of Magic Beast's Claws and Slaughter increase when attacking bleeding targets as well. So you've got quite a lot of damage increases, and obviously, once again, it's all about bleeding the enemies, which is going to be hopefully relatively easy to do. And hopefully because I I don't know if enemies actually have debuff resistance, although if they do, then maybe this could be quite bad. Or maybe even for the future, if they do add enemies that do actually have sort of debuff resistance, which I really hope they don't do, because then it just makes kits like his just void and useless. So hopefully they don't do that in the future, but overall seems pretty good so far. And then next up we have when he uses Extreme Attack Beast Form, which we learned earlier was his ultimate. He will apply Extreme Attack Beast Form effect to himself and receives continuous damage equal to 8% of his current HP every 3 seconds. What the hell? Bro, there's more to it, but the first sentence is crazy. So yeah, he's definitely all about dealing damage over time to not only the enemies but also himself, which is going to be really interesting. And it seems like this ultimate will be like a transformation ultimate, is what I'm going to assume, although it could not be, although that's what it kind of seems like, as it says you're applying the beast form effect. So who knows? We'll see. But yeah, that's really interesting that he's dealing damage equal to 8% of his current HP for every 3 seconds. So that also means gear sets like the Berserker gear set on the 4th set being able to, whenever your HP condition has changed, to be 70% or lower, pretty much, and damaged, and then you'll be able to get a 30% damage out increase. So a gear set like this, I think, is actually going to be pretty good on him, to be honest. So yeah, okay, pretty cool, I like it. And then it also says his damage that he takes increases by 15%. What the hell? But he gains super armor, which increases his basic attack damage and attack speed by 30%, which once again will confirm that he is 100% just all to do with his basic and core attack damage, which means the gear set I showed earlier will most definitely be fantastic on him. Which, wow, that is really interesting. He seems really like one of those characters that are going to be very high risk, high reward, and probably going to require a lot of, I guess, mechanical skill, if you want to put it that way, which is really interesting. I hopefully he'll just be ridiculous, and I really do hope like this sort of basic attack damage and attack speed will be very noticeable in his gameplay, so he just at least feels really different. But damn, wow, he looks really cool, to be honest. All to do with bleeds, which is nice. Hopefully he'll have a really easy way to bleed. Obviously this is not his full kit, so we'll have to find out more later on down the line, but hopefully he'll have a very easy chance of inflicting bleed on his enemies, so he can get all of those damage increases on his core attacks and also his like basic attacks mainly. And then when I was reading this bit here where you increase his skill damage by 50% of his reduced HP ratio, I was sort of getting a bit worried, because I was like, wow, am I gonna have to make myself take damage to do this? Because that's just not ideal. But what's great is that he's got a decent enough quality of life to the point where he'll just do that anyway, where you'll be able to lose 8% of your current HP every 3 seconds. So I really hope that's not like a permanent thing that's constantly ticking down. I hope it just lasts for a set amount of time and then just stops. That would be nice. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, there you have it. That the new upcoming Baek Yoonho looks really cool, and definitely completely different to this current one that we have right here, as this one is all about dealing break damage and stuff like that, whereas I have a pretty good hunch that this upcoming Baek Yoonho is going to be definitely more of an offensive character, and will probably be a part of this sort of attacker role right here, as we've only got 2 of them currently, so that would make sense. But yeah, wow, very interesting. Hopefully he'll be good, and hopefully you will also like and subscribe, as it helps a ton, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!